League, and they say they're a growing movement. Their mission is to defend English values against what they see as the creeping threat of Islam.
Muslims, in the name of Islam, are causing a lot of friction and a lot of bother. They're not integrating.
We don't want 5 years from now everybody turn around and suddenly we're in a dilemma where there's a bomber in every town.
This man is an expert on violent and extremist groups in Britain.
When you see the English Defence League march, you'll often find a counter-demonstration group, like the Muslim Defence League is a new group that's formed. And the two groups do sort of need each other. They do need their enemies to define themselves against. So you have this sort of spiralling where both groups inform each other of where they're going to be. They both turn up to the same marches, they both fight, and they both get more publicity as a result.
The Prime Minister worries that some Muslims define themselves only in terms of their religion. But it's difficult to impose a British identity on anyone. This country is still working out how to build a more coherent society in which everyone feels they belong. Barnaby Phillips, Al Jazeera, East London.
Finally, what's pink, green and silver and speeds by at more than 300 kilometers per hour? No prizes for the right answer, but it's not a bird or a plane. It's Japan's latest bullet train. With its trademark snout, the Hayabusa, or Falcon train, pulled out of Tokyo Station on Saturday. It will cost $320 for a one-way trip from the capital to the northern city. This is Al Jazeera, and these are the stories making headlines. Rebel fighters say they're pushing further towards the town of Sirte, that's Muammar Gaddafi's hometown. They're advancing through the desert, armed with grenades and assault rifles. For their part, government forces mount more attacks on the Libyan town of AlJazeera early on Saturday. That's the rebel stronghold in the west of the country. At least 30 people, mostly civilians, are said to have been killed. One doctor has talked of what he called a massacre. Anti-Gaddafi forces are celebrating in the key oil port of Ras Al Hanouf. They've managed to hang on to the city after repelling an attack by government loyalists. Some government soldiers in the strategic oil town have reportedly switched sides. In Benghazi, funerals have been held for those killed in a blast at a weapons depot. More than 17 people are thought to have died. Opposition fighters say pro-Gaddafi forces attacked the store. Saudi Arabia has banned all demonstrations in the oil-rich kingdom. It follows anti-government rallies in the towns of Qatif and Hufuf. Protesters want the release of political prisoners and an end to government corruption. They're also calling for the ruling Al Saud family's powers to be reduced. In Somalia, it's emerged that more than 50 African Union peacekeepers have been killed in fighting there in the past 2 weeks. The deaths come amid a major offensive against al-Shabaab fighters who control large parts of the capital, Mogadishu. The peacekeeping force in Côte d'Ivoire is to be reinforced by 2,000 soldiers and 2 combat helicopters. They're being drafted in as a political standoff between rival presidential claimants Laurent Gbagbo and Alassane Ouattara shows no sign of being resolved. Some of the fiercest fighting happened in a suburb of Abidjan on Thursday, when at least 6 female demonstrators were killed. State security officers in the Egyptian capital, Cairo, have been set alight. Thousands of people stormed the building in Nasser City late on Saturday. They claim officials inside were trying to shred sensitive documents containing evidence of human rights abuses committed by the former regime. Meanwhile, Egypt's former interior minister has pleaded not guilty on charges of money laundering and profiteering. Habib El-Adli was arrested last month and is widely blamed for a violent crackdown on anti-government demonstrators. Those are the latest headlines. The news continues here on Al Jazeera after Witness.
Hello and welcome to Witness, where we bring you personal stories from around the world. I'm Rida Fakhri. Most of us know that the establishment of the State of Israel brought Jews from all over the world to the new homeland. What may be less well known is that some Arab Jews from the surrounding states were amongst these immigrants. In 1948, a group of Jewish musicians from Baghdad and Cairo arrived in Tel Aviv. They were masters of Arabic music, but they found that their music was not valued in their new homeland, and the ongoing Arab-Israeli war left no room for their identity as Arab Jews. A small cafe became the one place where their music and culture could survive. Today's film by Duki Dror brings us the memories and stories of this charming group of now old men. Their memories, photographs and bits of old film transport us back in time and give us a taste of the lives of these Jewish Arab musicians at Cafe Noah.
בתשלומים, בתשלומים, כל דבר בתשלומים, בתשלומים, כל המשכורת הולך למכולת. אז אמרו לי, לא, תתקן. אל תגיד הולך למכולת. לא חשוב, הם אוכלים מה שאני כותב. בעברית אני הייתי חלש מאוד. חלש בעברית, אבל לאט לאט בשביל השירים שלי, שאני מכניס שירים עברית וערבית ומוסלחים, והיה הולך.
אני קונה הכל בתשלומים.
בתשלומים, בתשלומים. זה קבל צ'אנס השיר הזה. אין נשף שאנחנו הולכים אל הרוסים בתשלומים.
אלביר, זה الصحة. מה שלומך? תסלח לי שאני מפריע לך בצהריים. אבל רציתי לשאול בשלומך קודם כל בשנה טובה.
שנה טובה, יהודי אהלן בי.
תגיד לי, אתה שמעת בטח ואתה יודע או שאתה לא יודע? רוצים לעשות שחזור של קפה נוח ולדבר. תגיד לי, אין לך איזה סרט 8 מילימטר מקפה נוח? צילמת פעם משהו?
בימים ההם היו עולים חדשים, צמאים לשירה, צמאים לשירה מזרחית במיוחד, אפילו ערבית, ולמזלנו בימים ההם היו לנו מה זה זמרים ממדרגה ראשונה א' א' כולם. ופתחנו את קפה נוח. מה זה? לא תאמין, מלא. אפילו כל הכיסאות של הבתים שלהם בקרבת מקום היו מביאים אותה לגן הזה, ובתוכו יש בריכה, דגים, וזה מקום מאוד מאוד היה מפואר.
אתה נכנס לקפה כאילו שאתה נכנס לג'ונגל, וזה היופי שלו.
זה דור מיוחד, אין. ומי שהיה מספר אחד בזמרה העיראקית, הוא נכנס לקפה נוח.
קפה נוח זה בשבילנו, זה היה, החיים שלנו זה היה קפה נוח. חיי. כולנו גדלנו שם, התחתנו בזמן קפה נוח, כולנו.
אתה רוצה לדעת בטח איפה התחילה המוזיקה אצלי? זה ממצרים.